What's up, YouTube? It's Paul with Washington Pro Carpet Cleaning, and you're here for a dirty, filthy episode of Restaurant Cleanup. Look at these floors, caked on grease. Absolutely amazing. I suggested to the owner that he call my buddy with the truck mount. I guess he called, they couldn't get him in, so he called me back and I told him I just don't know about this. The type of method I do would take multiple pads, lots of chemical, and quoted him a price earlier before I had changed my mind and recommended he call my buddy. But anyway, I ended up doing the job. That's what we're here today to do. And I did let him know not to expect any amazing results, but do the best I could do. I mean, when somebody lets a restaurant look like this is actually, gosh, when I go to a restaurant, I look down. And if this is an indication of, how you're taking care of things, it would probably scare me off. Let me know about you guys in the comments down below. What do you think? If you walked in and saw carpets looking that filthy in a place that you were going to dine, would it make you think twice? And I will say in this episode, when I get to the end, I'll show you some the final pictures, and then they ended up not being the final pictures. I came in the next day to pick up my check, and I noticed that I had missed a few areas. And I'll explain that a little bit more, but look how bad these are. Oh my gosh. And what I used was the Citrus Fire, which is now I think called Citrus Dragon. And the only thing about this is good stuff, but I realized when I got partway through, it was not dissolving all the way in my tank, or in the gallon, 2.5 gallon jug that I use. I was pouring it into, there's the green pad. I was pouring it into the 2.5 gallon solution tank and shower feeding. And when I got done with that particular 5-gallon jug, I noticed there was still solution in the bottom of the tank that had not dissolved fully. So I may not have got the full effect, which kind of sucks when you spend all that time doing it. But also, I'm still getting the hang of the shower feed. And there were spots, you could see here, it's definitely cleaning. That's where I came to a stop. But the next day when I showed up, it was really splotchy, and there were some areas that I missed, and I think it's user error, which means it was me. I was still getting the hang of the shower feed, so some areas I think I got enough solution on the green pad, and other areas I didn't. You can see where I've already done a lot of this section. You can see the splotchy patterns, and it looked like just wet areas as far as what I was doing. I thought maybe they were just wet areas, but obviously the next day I realized no, it was pretty bad. So what I did, especially up back there, I don't know how I didn't notice that, and right along here, oh my goodness. So luckily I came back to get the check, and I saw that, and I told the restaurant owner that I would take care of it, and I brought in the Mighty ECO 14 and some Ironman pads and just straight Green Dragon, and I sprayed it with my work sprayer. That way I got an even coat. And then I went through with the pads. You can see this was what we used. We used the polar pads. Holy smokes. But on the redo, I did use the Ironman pads. And man, one pass with that Mighty, and it cleaned up the remaining areas that I had missed. So I'm not sure. I know, don't hate me. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the shower feed at this moment. It's just, again, it's user error, but it seemed like I had some really clean swirly spots, and then some medium clean spots, and then some filthy spots. And I know it was from how I was operating the trigger. So there's definitely an art to it. Hats off to Robin at OxyDry. He's a pro at it. These commercial jobs, I don't know, it was tough. I know sometimes he uses his Orbot, and I think that has a sprayer in the front, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I am using a Neptune pad on these. I have 2 runners and an entry mat. This was 2 big dining rooms, a banquet room, and an office, and they were all just as filthy as the 2 dining room areas. And I will tell you, I think I will pass on the next filthy restaurant. I wish I had some Angry Lemon, because, I had called Damon and said, oh man, could I use that citrus fire? It did work. It was not the citrus fire that was the problem. Even though some of it didn't dissolve, it was user error. I should have fully dissolved it, and I should have probably just sprayed it with my sprayer so that I get an even, uniform amount on there. And again, not just user error, but restaurant owner error for letting their carpets get that grimy and greasy and filthy. So there you go. I'm going to go over these mats here. And these came out really nice when I came in to get my check. These were all nice, bright, and shiny. So was the door entry. And a lot of the areas on a few of the dining room areas, it looks like I had somehow, as I progressed, the pad started to get more moist. And so it wasn't being affected by my trigger feed. It was already still moist, and it cleaned all the areas perfectly. It was just that front room. Pardon me. So anyway, I did get some amazing results for what I started with. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you think it sucks, give me a thumbs down. But look at this pad. Oh my goodness.
Holy Toledo.
We banging out the dirt.
That's a total eclipse.
Look at that. Looks like a solar eclipse. All right, flip it over. I'll do the back side. Get that knocked out. And over there on the left side of the screen, is a banquet room. And doing that banquet room, and then an office in the back as well. And I'll show you these results. And I should have took additional pictures when I went back, but I had to get in there, and I was trying to beat the rush hour. So he had one section closed off so customers could eat in the one dining room. Then I finished that one, and then of course you could immediately get right on it, because I just lightly misted it, and then the Iron Man pulled up all the moisture. Then I did the other dining room, and of course went back through and got it all knocked out. Everybody was happy, so there you go. That's what you want to do. I told the customer, I guarantee all my work, and when I saw how patchy it was, I wasn't happy with it, and he allowed me to come through and take care of it. That was a good thing. So, happy customer, happy technician. Whew, look at those polar pads going to work. My goodness. And now here I'll show you. These were the pictures. Now the lighting is bad. They have that dim lighting, and the shadows were just reaping havoc. That's why I didn't really see this. I thought it was the back side of the chairs laying down the shadows, but look how nice that looks right there. Here's this area where you could kind of see there was some shadowing going on. This one, not so much. This one came out okay. But then I sprayed or dumped some of the water out here I had some, left in the tank, and look what it did. I just sprayed the works gun empty, and it just immediately, that citrus fire started just breaking down the grease on the tar. So that stuff is pretty miraculous. So there you go. I'm going to pack up. I'm going to soak these pads so that I can wash them, wring them out before I put them in the washing machine. My wife's showing you some of the dirt there with that glove. Woo! Alrighty, that's it for this episode. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.